Hello, computer scientists. You guys have been busy working in GIMP, editing your sprites and resizing your background images, and hey, you're ready to start your story. So here we are. I have mine named as Captain America Story. That's my name of my story, Mr. Lang, and this is my version number 1. And I'm on my screen number 1, and I'm going to go ahead and rename my screen over in Properties Panel. We're going to be playing in Properties Panel a lot. I'm just going to be calling this Cover Page, and as you can see now that this is labeled Cover Page. It doesn't rename Screen 1 here, but it is Cover Page. So now, one thing I want to bring to your attention too is it's kind of cool is I just noticed this must be new. You have different version codes. So here I am in version 1.0, if you will, for my very first version of this, and so I thought that was kind of cool. So here we are. I'm going to show you guys a couple different techniques you can do to really work on getting your background image in and getting your text, so that way we can see your text and that your text wraps around, so that way you can read all of your text on your screen for your story. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and knock this out. So I'm going to choose my background image right away. I've already uploaded my Captain America background that I edited. And I'm going to go ahead and choose that right there, and it's going to go ahead now and put that in my background. All right, now I want to put in some text for my label, if you will, so that way I can read maybe the title of my story. So I'm going to come over to my user interface, and I'm going to go ahead and throw a label in there. I'm not going to use a text box. I'm going to choose a label for that. And now you can see that my label is only a certain size. All right, it's very small, but before I get too far, I'm going to go ahead and rename my label. So let's go ahead and choose rename my label, and using my arrow key, I pointed to the left, and I'm going to put this title underscore label, and I'm going to get rid of that number 1. All right, so my title label. There we are, and that's going to help out for coding and future purposes. All right, so I have it renamed, and I'm going to jump that font size up to about a 20. Make it a little bit bigger. Press my enter key there, and you can see my text font is a little bit bigger. And I'm going to play around my background color, because if I were to put my text in, very hard to read that over the bus. So I'm going to change my background color maybe to a yellow. All right. And now I'm going to go ahead and put in my text. And I've already typed my text, and so I'm going to just do a Control Victor, because I copied that from my Word document to make sure I don't have any misspellings, because App Inventor does not have a spell checker. So that's always a good thing that you can do. Put your text into a Google document or a Word document and make sure you don't have any misspellings, because the last thing you want to have is that story be so good and then have a bunch of misspellings in it. So here it is, and I know this should be just my title, but I wrote a lot here, as you can see, just because I want to show you for demonstration purposes what happens when I click off of that, and once upon a time there was a small bolt. Well, where's the rest of my story? So that's what I'm going to start playing around with my height and my width. I'm going to start with my width, and I'm going to choose Fill Parent, and I'm going to choose OK. Well, now that has the width to fill the parent of, if you will, the GUI of your tablet, but I can't read this text below here because I haven't played with my height. And what if I did a Fill Parent as well? That's not good. I don't see any of the image. So I'm going to go back up to here. We've been playing around with pixels a little bit, and this is going to be trial and error. And I'm going to start with 30 pixels and see where that takes me. And it's getting better. I can start to read it a little bit, but I can't read all of it. So I'm going to go ahead and increase that. And again, this is going to be trial and error. Let me go down to 40, see what that looks like. And hey, that worked out pretty well. All right, so I can always change my text color. Maybe do a nice blue. Maybe give it a little bold. Maybe do some centering and all that good stuff. So you guys can always play around with that. All right, so we have some text in there. It's wrapped, and so that's looking good. But now I need a button, and I want to put my button down here. And if I just tried to drag a button out to here, I can't align it. I was playing with my properties. I can't do that. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that for right now. And I'm going to go down to my drawing and animation, and I'm going to bring out a canvas, and I'm going to throw that canvas right there. And right away, I'm going to change my background from white to none, so it's transparent. And I'm going to play with my width, and I'm going to go ahead and fill parent there, and that brings me over left to right. But if I were to, again, choose fill parent, I don't have room down here to put my button down below there. I'm going to put a horizontal arrangement here eventually. So I'm going to go back to my height, and I'm going to play around with my pixels. And let me start with 400 and see where that takes me, and choose OK. And 400 was too much. Went way too far. Let me try my 300 and try OK there. All right, and that's good, but I could go a little bit more. So let me try my 325. And this is up to you guys of where you want to go. And that brings me down to about there. So I think I'm okay with that. Again, you won't see these green lines when you actually look on it with your tablet. I'm going to go back to my user interface. Oh, excuse me, my layout. And I'm going to grab my horizontal arrangement. And I'm going to bring that down below here. And I'm going to go ahead and rename my horizontal arrangement to, let's see, I'm going to take out the number 1 here. I'm going to go to the beginning of it. And this is going to be my button arrangement here to help me with that. Underscore, can't have a space there. So my button arrangement. And I'm going to choose OK to that. All right, so I have that renamed. And now I'm going to play around again with some of this. And I'm going to choose my background color to none, so it's transparent. And I'm going to choose my width to be, you guessed it, fill parent. That works out pretty well. But my height, I can't see the bottom of that. So I'm going to choose my pixels again. Well, let me see what happens if I choose fill parent. You know what? Fill parent may work because now we're at the bottom. If depending on where yours is at, you may again have to play around with your pixels there. All right, so I'm going to cancel that. All right, now though, I'm going to go back to my interface and I'm going to throw a button in there. And now I'm going to go ahead and rename my button, as you guys know to do. Take out the number 1, go to the beginning of it, and this is going to be my next page underscore button. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and change my text for it. Obviously, next page, or however you guys want to set yours up, and click off of that. So I have next page there, or click to go to the. Sorry about this, you guys. Click to go to the next page. All right. So however you guys want to set that up, you can. All right. So now I'm going to play around again with some of my widths and all that good stuff. And maybe I want to play around with the background color to be none and see what that looks like. And then I'm going to change my default color to maybe blue. I can kind of read that. Maybe I want to increase that font size to 20 so I can read that a little bit better. And maybe put on some bold so I can see it. So now my text is over my asphalt here. So I can see that pretty well because it's a solid color. Again, you saw what happened if I turned off that here. So with that, I'm going to kind of leave my background to be that color. Again, you guys are going to be playing around with all of this, obviously going to your blocks, and you're going to be turning to your next page. But now I'm done with this. What do I need to do? You guessed it. And I'm going to go to Projects, Save Project As, and I'm going to take out the word copy. And you know what? I'm going to do version 1.1 just because I think that's kind of cool. So I'm on my second one. You can do 1.2 next time, 1.3. You guessed it. When you get to 1.9 and you're getting ready to go to 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, whatever. So that's how I'm going to save my versions, and I'm going to choose OK. And choose OK. And it takes a second, but eventually we should see. Oh, I have an invalid character. I can't have any dots. That's my bad. So I'm going to do an underscore there. Version 1.1 and choose OK. Now it should, in a second, be V1. Let's pretend that's a dot. Version 1.1. And so I'm going to go down now, you guys, to my version name and change that to 1.1 as well. So that is set there. All right. So now you guys, you're off and running. You're going to jump to your next screen, or add a screen if you will, and you'll have your page 2. Again, it takes a second. Be patient for App Inventor. I think it's going to be working to add another page. There we go. And this is my page 2. If you will, and choose OK. Actually, it's going to be my first page. This is my title page here, so the next screen is actually going to be my very first page of my story. And if we wait a second and we'll be patient, now we are on our page number 1 of our story, and you guys are off and running again. And I'm going to show you another option that you can do here on page 1 in my next tutorial. So again, you'll have some options of what you want to do. I hope that helped a little bit, and you guys are off and running on your story. Very cool. I'm looking forward to seeing them.